It's super duper interesting.
So, are you buying or not? Auto reconfiguration is Lily Pavilion, best Lee food in town.
Oh, whatever shall I do? Yes, that's me.
How do you do, Monsieur Chow? We understand from Mr. Crossell that my associates and I are very
The hairpins. I don't know how it could have happened. I always kept them right by my side, and I spent so much money on them. If I have to pay their original value... My family is in the ore business too, but business has been suffering ever since the cat... We now have a backlog of paid-up orders just sitting around, so we've been having to... A big banquet is come... That's what the hairpins were for, to... Well, to keep up, but now that I've lost the hairpins...
Why does Paimon have a sudden strong sense of deja vu?
Would you really? I sent a commission to the Adventurers Guild, but I haven't heard...
Hold on. Don't run off looking for the hairpins just yet. Monsieur Chow, would you look...
Huh? Well, I mean, sure.
Let me see. That's right! Yanfei said she's a legal advisor, didn't she? Maybe she could... True. Though sure... Right. I finished reading the contract. The terms are very clear, and they do indeed stipulate that you must pay Mr. Furthermore, the contract also expressly states that the amount of compensation must take current market prices into account. And given the rarity of Smaragdus Jadeite, I fear that the final amount of compensation...
Even higher? Oh, no.
Uh-oh. Just how looks... However, all of this is assuming that it is indeed genuine Smaragd... Did you really have to pause before saying that part? Whichever way you look at it, we've got to start by... Except that if we found the hairpins, there'd no longer be any need to check whether the...
Please. Please, Don't trouble. However much it is, I will have to pay it. My family are merchants, after all. Now that it's come to this, I really shouldn't keep Crossell in the dark any longer.
Yes, legally speaking, it seems this is the... So hold on a moment, Monsieur Chow. When you first touched the...
What did I feel? Well, I remember that my family has seen much jade pass through its hands.
Smooth to the touch. No, it's nothing. I just need to re-examine a few things. Let's hit...
Auto reconfiguration is an essential function. So, are you buying or not?
Ah, Miss Yanfei, you've returned. With Miss Jiqiao in tow, too, I see. How are the hairpins?
About that.
You lost them? Are you serious?
I'm sorry. Truly I am. I'll pay...
Mora! Do you have any idea what I had to go through to get my... I just don't... Forget it. Talking won't bring them back. Since Miss Yanfei...
No problem. But before I can give an official estimate, I'll need to do a little market research. Ah, yes. And if I may just confirm again, it was in fact genuine Smaragdus Jadeite inlaid into the hairpins, correct?
Of course! Genuine article guaranteed, or I pay...
All right, understood. I'll conduct some market research, and once I'm back, I'll provide an official assessment of the sum owed by...
Thank you very much. How could she lose my hairpins? She'd...
Looks like I'll have to find some way to raise that money.
Please wait, Monsieur Chow. I have something to discuss with you. It's not convenient to speak here, so let's find somewhere that we can sit and talk and...
I should know the story. Why'd they have to give me that transfer?
Miss Yenfei, what is this about? Are you...
No. What I wanted to talk about is, there is a chance that the ore inlaid on those hairpins may not— What do you mean? Are you implying that you already sneaked off and found them? Obviously not. I'm no adventurer, let alone a member of the guild. I don't know if Granny told you this, but Smaragdus jadeite is found deep underground and contains very concentrated. If mere mortals come into contact with it, well, they'll be sick in the best case. And in the worst case, they could even Mr. Chow, did you at any time feel—
No, not at all.
Now that is strange. If I've deduced correctly, he may still have the— If that's the case, we should go confront him right now! Absolutely not. If we were to confront him now, there's no way he would admit to it. And then, he'd throw the Smaragdus jadeite into the sea the moment we were gone. After that, he would simply insist that Mr. Chow pay up per the contract. Meanwhile, we would have to look under every stone in Liyue, hoping and praying that the hairpin— So vivid that Paimon thinks it might be experience talking. Oh, it certainly is. I've seen my fair share of situations like this, and brute force methods are certainly one way of resolving them.
Well then, since you're so experienced in dealing with problems—
Oh, that won't be a problem. But first, Mr. Chow, can I ask— Huh? Does there have to be a contract for everything? Paimon— It feels like Yanfei is even more concerned with them than— These are my formal terms of engagement. Everything prior to now has just been pro bono advice. But for me to investigate any further, any work commissioned but not bound by a contract cannot be—
I understand. Then I will be glad to place this matter into your care.
No problem. Just sign here, and I'll sign too. And I'll also need your signatures on pages 5, 7, and on the very last page. This contract has so many pages. Paimon's up. All right, that should do it. My fees are the same as always, and they're written in the contract.
I've had a read through. Everything—
Well then, here's your copy of the contract. I will retain the other copy. Not for now, no. Despite how intractable this problem might sound, it will actually— I don't believe you have been part of an investigation like this before.
Miss Yunfei, I have to ask.
Because, as it happens, I'm currently trying to acquire some Smaragdus jadeite myself. Whether he actually made it into an item of jewelry or not is a separate matter. But either way— Also, the idea of someone abusing the law to their advantage— But again, let's not dwell on this. Let's go to— I've got it! Let's pay a visit to Chateau. If Mr. Crossell had his ore worked on at all, Chateau would undoubtedly—
Try your luck betting on Jade? Why, hello there, honored customers. Welcome. Surely.
No, nothing of the sort. Has a Snezhnayan merchant named Crossell enlisted your ore process—
A Snezhnayan merchant. I do remember that. That was the first time I'd ever encountered it, so I had no way of telling if it was really Smaragdus jadeite or not. But if a customer insists, far be it from— He was quite generous with his money, too, so I didn't give it too much.
Do you have—
Why, yes. It was my first time encountering this ore after—
Thank you, sir. We'll take a look at them.
Huh? If my eyes don't deceive me, the crop— Yes, it's not particularly rare, nor is it especially valuable. I've heard it said that Smaragdus nephrite is in fact the outer layer of Smaragdus jadeite, though no one's ever proven it.
A thin layer of separation, huh? If you must see for yourself, try examining these shavings for traces of elemental energy. Smaragdus nephrite is an entirely ordinary ore, containing no elemental energy whatsoever. Is that so? Well, we might as well give elements. So, did you find anything? So they really are different. But wait, how come Jichao was able to tell what it was just by looking at the shards? That's pretty.
There's nothing special to it. It just so happens that I've come across a great many of these in my time. These two stones actually look very similar. Someone without a deep understanding of them would find it very difficult to tell. There may be only a subtle difference for the casual viewer, but that translates to an astronomical and, I'm sure, a significant difference in the cost of having them.
All right, let's focus up. We're going off on a tangent.
But never mind, Shirto. Why would Mr. Crossell?
Unusual actions have unusual reasons behind them. Let's take some of these shavings.
Miss Yenfei?
If you could just confirm for me once more, sir. Mr. Crossell did indeed claim that the ore he...
Yes, that's right. I still have a record of the job with me, in fact. Here.
Then I have no further questions. But could I borrow the processing record and these stone shavings?
Of course. But my...
Oh, I have my reasons. Ah, yes. Please sign here on this affidavit. This document shall serve as signed proof that these stone shavings originated from the...
Yes, I see.
I wouldn't say there's been an incident, just a minor issue. Thank you, sir. I'll take... With this hard evidence to back us up, Crossell won't dare try to deny what he did! On the contrary, this is far from sufficient to build a case. We need to find some... If you want to make jewelry, you need a professional jewelsmith. Let me think. Jewelry... Aha! Got it! Singxi. She often helps people to find a jewelsmith. Let's go... Well, that was quick. How come you know so many... Because lots of people come to me for legal advice every day. As you know, Liyue Harbor is the city of contracts, but the amendments made by the Tianquan to our laws are unnecessarily complicated. As such, legal advisors like myself provide quite the popular... So you help them make sense of the law. But didn't you say that... Yes, well, that's no obstacle, because I've memorized all the legal codices. You memorized? You sound surprised. Knowing the law inside out is a legal advice... Oh, this has nothing to do with being an adeptus. I just like reading things. Again, with that casual tone. Well, that's that then. Let's go look for Singxi.
Oh, Miss Yenfei, it's you.
Have no further trouble from then on? Yes. Has a merchant by the name of Crossell asked you to put him in...
Crossell? Yes, I remember him. He's a merchant. The design of the hairpins that he gave me was quite intricate, so it took me some work to find someone who was up to the job. Eventually, I found an old... This order was on hold for a very long time, and only completed quite
Doesn't seem like there's any evidence to be found here. Miss Singxi, I'd like for you to confirm for me once more. When Mr. Crossell commissioned you to find him a jewelsmith, did he or did he not assert that the material he presented...
Yes, I'm sure of it. The hairpins were made using many expensive materials, and the asking price was quite high, so we had to put this transaction on record with them. Mr. Crossell wasn't very familiar with the necessary procedures, so I filed it on his behalf. I also kept a copy for my own records. See for yourself, the inlaid gemstone is recorded as Smaragdus jadeite.
Thank you, Singxi. Now...
Sure, it isn't serving much purpose here anyway.
Nothing you need to worry about. Just a minor issue. I'll return your— Why is everyone's first reaction always to assume someone— I believe we have almost all the evidence we need. We just need to make one last trip. The weirdo with the snake around his neck? Because only he can provide an authoritative statement confirming that Smaragd— Once we have this final piece of evidence in our hands, we can—
Jewelry's out of stock, but we have some new items in.
Stock at Seago Antiques?
They're not here. Let's keep looking.
Well, will you? Don't worry, we're not bad guys. You give us some Mora, we give you.
Boss, I got a bad feeling about this. Look at her, the white hair, the energy she gives off. I'm telling you, there's...
So what? She's loaded. How are we ever going to repay those gambling?
I've already told you. I don't. If you still can't grasp.
Come on, ma'am. You seem like it's not about whether you need the info or not, okay? It's about you taking out your money.
I won't.
No more excuses! Yeah, I saw you. Strolling into Leo Lee Pavilion, ordering a table full of food, then Shin Yue kiosk, then Wanmin restaurant. Same story each time. How could you afford to be so wasteful if you weren't from a rich family? And since you're so rich...
Master warned me not to lay a hand on anyone in Liyue, but here we are. Perhaps.
Boss, I'm telling you,
What are you afraid of? We're just selling information. It's not illegal. If she lays a finger on us, all the better. We'll
Oh, you again.
The Millilith. What are the Millilith doing here? Did you do this? You ought to
Silence! How dare you threaten innocent civilians? You're coming with us.
No, don't be angry, sir.
Shenhe,
Shenhe?
my name.
Oh, so your name's Shenhe. Paimon's name is, well, Paimon. And
I've heard about you two before. Thank you. I could have dealt with it myself, though. I suspect smashing his head against the ground
you can. This is Lila Harbor. There are a lot.
laws. No,
Really? So
that would be my stomach growling.
she's so honest. Wait, that's right. They said you went around all the restaurants ordering this and that and the other, but then of course you're still hungry. So
Chingson, glaze lily, violet grass. These are my usuals. Medicinal herb?
kinda hard to explain. Anyway, Boo Boo Pharmacy's not far away. Let's take. After all, you can't work on an empty stomach. Do you think Senha might be an Adeptus? It seems like it's her first time in Liyue Harbor, and she doesn't seem to get how things work here. If she...
Are you here to buy some herbs? I do hope you brought your prescription.
Ginseng, glaze lily, and violet grass, please. Half a pound of each.
What kind of prescription is this? Sounds more like a lunch order. Oh, here you go.
Thank you.
She's really eating!
My hunger has now abated. Thank you. Rather, though they were not completely devoid of sweet fragrance. After consuming a large quantity of them, bitterness is all that remains.
So, how come you chow down on these? And if Paimon had enough, Mora, Paimon would go to the fanciest restaurant in...
Because I'm not sure whether I will remain here in the future. The food of the mortal realm is most delicious. But should I return to the mountains, yearning, sampling each dish in order to appreciate its taste is enough.
Return to the mountains! That proves it! Paimon...
Enough about me. What are your plans from here?
Oh, right! Paimon almost forgot! We came out to take... And now we're probably super back...
I see. I heard something about...
Yep! You get to ask Ningguang any... Were you interested in the contest?
I came for the rebuilding of the Jade Chamber, but until the... However, you have shown me your kindness, and I would now like to lend you my assistance. Oh.
Wow! Yep, but having an Adeptus help out will make things a whole lot easier, so...
Then let's not delay. I have a plan.
Great! Paimon bets this is gonna be the awesomest...
I am not sure whether, or to what extent, we simply need to dispose of everyone who is currently ahead of us.
Veto! That is not acceptable!
Really? But I hear that competition is in essence...
Look, we want to win this Sunset Vermilionite, Wonder Cores, and Adepti Sigils. Let's start...
I was wondering who I could hear arguing over there. So...
Baiju? What are you doing out here?
Lady Ningguang wishes to purchase a large batch of wound dressing. We're running low at the store, so I came out to fetch the ingredients personally.
Huh? How come Lady Ningguang needs so much wound dressing all of a sudden?
I'm not too sure. I did hear she's looking to rebuild the Jade Chamber. Maybe for its first aid on site? I didn't ask, though. Far be it from me to pry into my customer's personal affair. Oh, and she also borrowed Chi-Chi. Meaning Boo Boo Pharmacy is very short-handed right now. I don't suppose...
No, we've got other stuff to do. While you're here, though, you seem to know a lot. Have you ever heard of something called
Ah, the variety of plostrite used in the Jade Chamber, yes? There is some mention of it in the Seven Mountain Treatises. When activated, Sunset Vermilionite rises up all the way into... As far as the records show, virtually all Sunset Vermilionite in existence has been mined and taken possession of. But the Feiyun Commerce Guild would know far more about this than I do.
Okay then, let's go ask at the Feiyun Commerce Guild. Thanks, Baiju.
You're quite welcome. Good luck to you all. And if there's anything... My, to what do I owe the pleasure? Though I'm afraid that if you're looking for our little Chi-Chi, she's out gathering herbs. And if it isn't Miss Yanfei as well, now that's an even rarer honor. What business brings you here, might I inquire? Some charlatans peddling ineffectual medicines again, no doubt?
No. I'm here this time to ask if you're familiar with Smaragdus Jadeite.
Smaragdus Jadeite? Why, yes, there is some information about it included in the 6th commentary. The 7 Mountain Treatises states that this substance springs forth from stone marrow within the mountains, and it is abundant in elemental energy, so if someone without a vision is in contact with it for a prolonged period, best case scenario. Anyway, I'm sure you didn't come all this way just to chit-chat. Knowing you, Yanfei, I suppose that you're about to ask me to write an official affidavit attesting to the pharmaceutical peculiarities of Smaragdus jadeite?
That is indeed the case. If you would be so kind, Dr. Baiju.
No trouble at all. It's just a single document, won't take me a moment. I would mention, though, that you are not the only one who's developed a curiosity for... But after I gave him my reply, his expression shifted to one... I wonder, Miss Yanfei, if your pressing business might be related to this Snezhna...
Ah, you needn't concern yourself about that, Dr. Baiju. Thank you for penning us that document. I'll make sure to compensate you in due course.
You're too kind. Take care now.
That Baiju guy is as weird as ever. Is it just Paimon, or does it feel like he was fishing for something back there? Dr. Baiju's always been like that. Well, we have the evidence we need. Let's go find Mr. Crossell.
Miss Yanfei, have you finished your investigation? I trust you will now be in a position to assess...
Yes, my investigation is indeed concluded. I can now provide a
Wonderful. Well then, please.
Of course. Mr. Crossell, you must pay Mr. Chow 10 times the original transaction price and more.
Sure. Wait, what? Me pay her? Surely there's been some kind of mistake.
Not at all. According to my investigations and the material evidence that we've gathered, the substance claimed to be Smaragdus jadeite that was inlaid within the Smaragdus jadeite twin phoenix pins that you rented out to Mr. Chow was, in fact, Smaragdus nephrite. Now, the contract states very clearly that 10 times the price shall be paid should the article not be genuine. Accordingly, you are liable for this sum, which is payable to Mr. Chow in Mora.
Material evidence? What material evidence? Why, I spent a huge sum to obtain that Smaragdus jadeite, and yet you...
Indeed. Only a testimony from an expert witness involved in the processing of the ore can serve as an authoritative... This is a processing record.
Seriously? Even the boss there couldn't differentiate. In any case, Smaragdus...
That's an unsubstantiated...
Well, your claim that my ore is fake is just as unsubstantiated.
Ugh. Looks like our first piece of evidence didn't convince... Hard evidence. Something legally binding. We have just the thing. Show him travel... Oh, come on. I meant the backup copy of the document from the Ministry of Civil Affairs.
This document proves that my hairpins are the real deal, doesn't it? This is the Ministry's seal, after all.
Our second piece of evidence didn't work either. And this... You know, you could be right. Perhaps...
Of course I'm right. All the evidence shown supports my story.
Well, hang on a moment now, because I do recall... Traveler, would you do the honors? This shall serve as decisive proof of our case.
What?
Smaragdus jadeite springs forth from stone marrow within the mountains and will bring disaster to any mere mortals who touch it. Sustained contact with Smaragdus jadeite over a prolonged period will, in less serious cases, cause a mild malady, while in serious cases, the patient may suffer. Mr. Crossell, were you aware of these peculiar properties of
I had no idea.
No idea, you say? I'd guessed as much. But for you to have rented out such a dangerous item, I'm afraid that this falls outside the scope of my work, but within that of the Ministry of... However, I'm sure that the Ministry will be relatively lenient considering that, as you say, you were ignorant of the danger. Don't worry, Mr. Crossell. I will make sure that all the evidence presented here will be handed over. I trust that you'll give them your full cooperation in their investigations.
What? Wait, wait!
Oh, so you knew? Oh.
Huh? No,
Aren't actually inlaid with genuine... You do understand, Mr. Crossell, that this means... Mr. Crossell, your answer, please. He's seriously intimidating right now. It's like she's a different person.
I admit it. I confess. But I'm a victim in all of this, too. I invested a great deal of time and money into acquiring that small amount, but after receiving it and carrying it around for a few days, I started to feel... I went to Boo Boo Pharmacy to get myself checked out, only to discover that this sort of stone cannot... That's why I had another pair of hairpins made from Smaragdus nephrite, which is almost indistinguishable from Smaragdus jadeite. I kept the real Smaragdus jadeite in a specially made box. I daren't touch. I was worried that someone would see through it, which is why I only dared to rent them out, not sell them. And then to top it all off, Chichao lost the hairpins after I rented them out to her.
Exactly. If they weren't the real deal, why...
I didn't want to either, but when I purchased that Smaragdus jadeite, some of my business partners found out. If word got out that I sold a pair of fake hairpins...
All right, let's cut the appeals phase right there. I failed to see what bearing any...
10 times.
Crossell looks like he could faint any second. As for me, according to my contract with Mr. Chow, 20% of that sum...
20%? That's as much as I spent on that
There's no need. It's fine. You don't have to... Even if the Smaragdus jadeite on those hairpins was fake, I still bear responsibility for...
Ms. Jichao...
However, Mr. Crossell, since you have no use for that chunk of Smaragdus jadeite...
What? But all right, then.
Miss Yunfei, I'll turn the Smaragdus jadeite over to you.
Well, that's not quite how the rules...
Thanks so much for your help this time, Miss Yunfei. When you have the time, I'll be sure...
Oh, come on. No need to stand on ceremony. Now, if...
Well
then, that's good. Mr. Crossell, it seems that my client has...
Is that...
Actually, Mr. Crossell, I could see from the hairpins you produce that you're very skilled in jewelry design. If we could join...
Well, that's that. And we've got the Smaragdus jadeite that Granny wants too. All's well. Exactly. Usually when someone tells us they've lost something, we end up searching all over the place. Even though the right solution depends on your perspective on the objective of my client, Mr. Chow, was to reduce her liability to an Adeptus. Speaking of, you took part in that battle. Liyue Harbor is now a city ruled by humans. The title of Adeptus means precious little to me compared to my job as a legal advisor. In any case, don't you think that the Liyue Harbor of Paimon can think of someone who would definitely disagree with your reasoning? Well, since we got what we came for, it's time to pay Granny a visit.
you've returned. How did it go? Were you able to find the... Good, good. Then we have all the materials we need.
Well, if we're all set, Granny, I'll get going now. Got a ton of clients waiting for me back at the office.
Oh, you. All right, then. Go see to your business.
I'm off then. Bye! Oh, yes, Traveler. Make sure you don't lose the business card I gave. I've been looking into the laws of other nations as well. If you should ever bump into any trouble with the law, come find me directly. Regulars get discounts, too.
Come now, child. Are you leaving or are you not? If you have no wish to leave, perhaps you'd like to...
I'm leaving! I'm leaving!
That child. Goodness knows where she learned to be so rambunctious. Her father was hardly so riotous or fond of talking nonsense back in the day when he stood... Indeed she is. Liyue has changed. Yanfei might be overly garrulous, but she is also the most intimately acquainted with the city among us. Liyue is not the same place All right, then. Let us speak of this no more. Back on topic.
Oh, Paimon's so excited! How is it made?
It is but a single teapot. It shan't take long. There we go. This serenity. Hold it firmly. If you were to drop it, oh goodness, who knows what... Take these blueprints with you as well. You'll need them if you wish to make your teapot a little more light.
Wait a minute, Granny! How exactly...
Oh, you needn't worry about that. I've already arranged...
This is a peaceful neighborhood.
Wow! This teapot seems even bigger inside than Madame Ping's! There's but there's just a whole load of nothing around it. Paimon can't do that! Well, you're the one with the sword anyway, you do it! Still, why is it so empty? Oh, wait a second, what is that? Well, it seems that we have a visitor. It's a huge finch! Excuse me, I am not a finch. Hang on a moment. Oh, call me. I suppose you may call... So you're the little helper Madame Ping mentioned? Madame Ping? Oh, you must mean Ping. Yes, you may leave all matters regarding the upkeep of this realm to me. Your journey may be far from over, but at least this way you will not want for a comfortable place. Though it is the Adepti who create realms such as this, they generally do not. Thus, we teapot spirits were created to... You may consider me a... Now, allow me to explain this realm. Have you any blueprints on you? As long as you have a blueprint, you can Blueprints? Oh, that's... Yes, these are the blueprints I'm talking about. Just commit the image of the objects to memory and prepare then simply release the thought from your mind and the object in the blueprint. Wow! Is that all it takes? Then we could build a whole city inside, couldn't we? I doubt it. A golden-eyed adeptus, he said that even though subspace creation is a product of adeptal power, this world is not a true one after all. It provides a golden-eyed adeptus? I hardly remember myself. What's more, I have never... Well, let's not dwell on that. Have a look around. Best you get if there's anything you would like to...
Traveler, please, over here. It has been a while since you joined the Adventurers Guild. Are your adventures going smoothly? Is that so? Another person to count on is always good after all.
Yep, and it's even harder to get a guide as good.
Ah, yes. I do have some information. Let me consult our records. Ah, there it is.
Blonde. Dress is all funny. Wait! Do you mean... Does that stranger's face look anything like her?
Like the honorary knights? No, they couldn't look more different. This stranger is a very tall man, and even has an eye patch.
Seriously? How does this have anything to do with Kaya?
That stranger declined the guild's invitation, so I can't say that I know anything about the relationship between him and Mr. Ka. Nonetheless, you can look for him if you're interested. Perhaps he might accept your commission instead. After all, it is not uncommon for some adventurers to not want to be limited by the guild, but be happy to accept a fellow adventurer's and should the stranger be a strong adventurer indeed, he would certainly be a big help on your journey. Please don't talk down on yourself like that. Your deeds are the stuff of song for all the bards in the city. Well, as to further news about him, he stands guard at the city gate. I wish you every success.
So, I must know the topic, even minding my...
Uh-oh. If so...
It's the...
Huh?
You weren't even lit. Anyway, it is said that he... But to be honest... I would happily... I'm told that there have been... Nevertheless... If you want to know more...
Dark Knight Hero. But just a little... Wonder who it could be?